What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here, and today we'll be talking about the latest update for Destiny and everything new in the patch that came with it, otherwise known as 2.4.1. There's actually quite a lot of new things and changes in this update, so I'm going to be going through everything new and the most important things that you need to know about and explaining what they mean. So let's talk about everything new and what's been changed in this update. So firstly, something I've actually snuck into the update is some brand new ornaments for some of the exotic weapons. In the kiosk, you can see, if we go to Bad Juju, you can see Dragon's Bane, which is actually an Ahamkara skull on top of the weapon, which looks so cool, and the weapon is now green. There's also Hoodoo, which is like this black and red theme going on here with like this very strange looking vulture skull. It's a really cool looking ornament, and there are actually some other ornaments as well. For the Thorn, for example, you can get the Rose of Acid and the Rose of Corruption. So two brand new rose ornaments for the Thorn, which is really cool lore-wise, because of course the Thorn used to be a rose if you follow the story of the weapon. But there you go, two brand new ornaments for the Thorn. There's also some for the Last Word. As you can see, any weapon with this little squiggly line going down it means there's basically an ornament on the way for the weapon. And if you preview the material details, you'll see the kind of like glitched out ornaments right there. Obviously these for the Hawkmoon, you can see there are actually ornaments on the way for this weapon. And also the Black Spindle has some, and the Red Death. So lots of cool ornaments for the weapons. Not sure if they're bugged or intended, but the only one we can see as of now is for the Bad Juju. So maybe the rest are coming very soon. But that is really cool to see some new ornaments for the exotic weapons. Now, going through some of the stuff that is actually in the patch notes, what they've announced. Firstly, the horn relays from Sparrow Racing League are no longer used to upgrade rare quality horns. They've been basically gotten rid of, and instead everyone's been given 15 silver dust as compensation since they've been removed. They've also removed a bunch of the old Festival of the Lost items in preparation for the new Festival of the Lost going to be happening, and with it they've also brought a brand new kiosk into the tower. So you can see it right here, just next to that massive door that's always closed opposite the speaker. You can see a brand new holiday collection kiosk, and this is available to actually redeem your Festival of the Lost mask. So any mask that you still have with you today and is in your vault or in your characters, those will be available in the kiosk to redeem again, so you can safely delete all of those, and those are saved right there. So if we take a look at my kiosk, this is what mine looks like, and you can see the ones that are fully available and I can actually acquire. These are the ones I still have on me right now and in my vault. So as you can see, I've got the skull mask, which you got from the packages. We've got the exotic engram and the scolus, which can be fully available. Like I said, these are in my vault. But these ones over here, some of them are grayed out. The Aethel mask, for example, this is found in Treasures of the Lost. But if you go to the green engram, this says earned during Festival of the Lost. So this is a little bit different. I believe I actually had the Aethel mask at one point. I actually dismantled it. So it actually shows I did have the Aethel mask at one point, and it says it can be found in Treasures of the Lost. So maybe that's a new thing. You can open these Treasures of the Lost packages and reclaim masks that you had at one point. Whereas this green engram right here, I never had this at all. In my entire Festival of the Lost last year, I never earned this green engram. So it says earned during Festival of the Lost. So maybe that kind of indicates that I can never get this because I never had it at one point. So it's kind of interesting. You can see the difference between ones you had at one point, ones that you have now, and ones you never had at all. It kind of shows the differences. Funny enough, the Speaker Mask and the Cryptarch show purchase from Eva, so I'm not sure why it's saying that. I can't even remember if you could buy them from Eva, but those seem to be in a different category. But there you go, you can now pick up some of the masks that you obtained previously in this kiosk. So if you actually think about Bungie adding this into the tower, it's actually pretty interesting, and it could be bad for vault space. If you think about it, we of course needed more vault space in order for them to add a bunch of new masks to Festival of the Lost. So the reason they added this is of course to save us vault space, and means we can now delete them. So maybe that means they're not going to be expanding vault space for a while. Maybe this is their solution, because like I said, most of us are running out of vault space and still have a bunch of these old masks. They can't add new ones without either giving us more space or doing something like this. So maybe this is their solution. Maybe this means we're not getting expansion to the vault. And that's something I thought about. Maybe this could be the meaning. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Something else they did that was pretty strange is they changed the box of raisins. If you still kept that tiny box of raisins from the old Festival of the Lost, that's now been called the Ascendant Raisins. So for some reason that's been updated. Maybe it's the new raisins that are coming, but if you've saved those, you can go into your vault and see them. They're now called Ascendant Raisins, and they actually give you Grimrot as well. So pretty strange right there. So talking about some of the other changes, something else pretty interesting, they've actually changed the Lighthouse. So it's now a full social space on Mercury that can accommodate up to 9 players that have a Flawless Trials passage. So of course you still need to go Flawless to go to the Lighthouse, but you can now fit 9 players there. It used to always be 3, that was the maximum limit, just 3 players in the Lighthouse at one time. But now you can fit 9 people there if you want, so that's a pretty interesting change as well. Reputation boosters can also now be purchased for silver dust as well as silver. They fixed an issue where apparently special rare engrams were sometimes equipped into primaries, and now talking about some of the raid changes, they've done some stuff with the Civet key fragments. You'll now get 1 Siva key fragment as a drop for every normal mode boss. Also, you get 2 for every hard mode boss, and you can also get Siva key fragments to drop on each boss kill, even if you've already done the raid at that week. So you can basically farm bosses for fragments if you still need them, even if you've already done them that week. They've also fixed the issue with Crucible emblems, and they've split them into 2 categories of Crucible and Trials of Azara, so you can now safely dismantle them. And they've also added Inferno Elimination as a mode in private matches. So talking about the light level changes and all the gear that's now going to be dropping at the increased raised light, the Siva Strike playlist is now going to drop up to 365, and the Heroic version up to 385. Archon's Forge is now going to drop up to 385, so all the loot in there is going to be at that level, whereas the Ghost and Artifacts is going to be 400, so that's the max light level for those 2 items, which is pretty nice as well. Also Trials, Iron Banner and Crucible, and also Strike Cords with Skeleton Keys, those are going to drop up to 400, so that's a very good source for max light level gear. And also Wrath of the Machine, Trials and Iron Banner, those are all going to now attempt to drop higher reward items on average, so those have basically been buffed, and they should be a lot more generous, no more like 384 stuff. They should be dropping a lot higher, and they should raise your light level more often than being below it. Now, in terms of the packages, the Vanguard, Crucible, and Faction packages, those drop up to 390. So getting to 400 is not going to be as easy as 385, simply because Faction packages, you cannot just farm them and just turn in a bunch of heavy ammo. It's actually going to be a lot more difficult. You basically need to do endgame content to get 400 gear, and 390 is the cap for all of the packages. They've also, like I said before, increased the chances of artifacts from the Eris packages, and also increased the ghost drop rate from the Faction packages, and also Vanguard and Crucible. In terms of the engrams, the rare engrams now decrypt up to 365 light, legendary up to 385 light, and exotics will decrypt up to 400 light. So those are the levels for engrams you should definitely be aware of. They fixed an issue that caused Firefly to activate apparently many more times than intended, causing a crash, so maybe that should fix the frame rate issues, but apparently they've fixed the issue with Firefly, so that should be all good to go. Also, the following armor no longer requires Rise of Iron and can be obtained throughout exotic engrams normally without the expansion, and that's the Astrocyte Verse for the Warlock, the Ophidian Aspect for the Warlock as well, and the Thagomizer Gauntlets for the Titan. Very strange, not sure why out of the 7 new exotic armor pieces, 3 of these now don't require Rise of Iron, but there you go, that's something interesting as well. And they've also fixed the rapid cooldown perk on the Frosty's Hunter boots, so it's no longer interfere with the base cooldown provided by stats. Before, the Frosties actually used to be bugged, and they would give you negative discipline, so that actually slow down your grenade charge, but now they've been fixed, you can safely equip them again, and they won't be slowing down your grenade charge. And the final thing they've fixed is an issue where heroic strikes would not count towards the Take a Strike record in the record book, so you should be able to get that node completed by just doing the normal heroic strike playlist. So there we go, that is everything important in the new patch 2.4.1. Leave a comment down below which is most interesting to you and your thoughts on these changes, and of course drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, that'd be much appreciated. If you want to read the full patch notes and absolutely everything new in this update, you can check them out in the description box below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.